Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Campaign Stories. This is Jeff, your narrator. Today I am joined by Jesse.
Hey folks, I'm Jesse. I'm playing as Oswald.
What we will be doing for the next couple episodes are a bunch of smaller short stories, but before we get started, how about a lightsaber check?
How about a lightsaber check? Boy, that'd be rad if I got one of those right now. But no, I rolled a 4.
Okay, so I believe we would start this scene of a blood-soaked Oswald, currently outside as the crowd gasps in terror, as he turns and faces towards the bar, as he aims himself at a right angle on the outside of the bar. As Oswald moves to jump in, the Amon Protection Division begins floating down, sectioning off the area with their large, stained glass-looking wings and Rethiata rifles in hand, as Oswald disappears.
I wonder who called Typh.
Like last time, you can see other corners amongst the darkness between spaces. Some you're pretty sure where they go to, either bathrooms, offices, rooms, things like that. But amongst all these decisions, you can now start to see between all of these corners the fields. The razor grass as it glimmers in the whatever ethereal light is being cast on it from wherever it is. But it looks like you'd have to step away from a corner to get here. I guess a cobbler would meow from inside your coat.
Yeah. Yep, I'll absent-mindedly scratch heads. Or scratch his head. I hope he just has the one. Yeah, I'm gonna step away from the corner I'm at and venture into the field a little bit. I'm interested to see where it goes and where it can take me.
Falling from the corner, out of darkness, you'll drift down into the fields. And when you look back up, you are surrounded by lights. The bright lights of planes nearby, or maybe their eyes. I don't know, it's very odd. It's very hard to tell here what exactly is what and where it is. The razor grass moves and points itself towards you as you step through it. You can feel small kind of cuts against your legs or where they're trying to stab into your boots.
I think I would just kind of crouch in the grass for a bit and just get a feel for what the environment is like. Rather than like moving around randomly, and noticing that the grass is pointing towards me in my general area, I would start looking around to see if I can see other grass elsewhere that's not pointing towards me, and maybe that's an indicator it's pointing towards something else that's out here.
The ground is warm, and as you push on it, it's spongy a bit. The razor grass will, of course, keep pointing at you, and it does try to stab at your hands. But I do believe you wear gauntlets, correct? Or no?
I feel like that's the kind of thing I probably would have on me most of the time, but I probably wouldn't have them on my hands. So They'd probably be clunking around in a pack.
Yeah, so imagine like on Magnus, they probably came up to a little bit past the wrist. On you, they probably come up closer to your elbow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I think by default, I would prefer to have them not on because I want to keep my dexterity in my hands.
Okay.
So, yeah. But if it feels like the razor grass is cutting through even the scaling that's starting to develop on my hands and fingers, then I might think about those gauntlets and pull them on.
No, as the razor grass scrapes across the scaling on your hands and fingers, it stops pointing at you and resumes its normal position, drifting in the warm, breathy winds that cover these fields.
Oh, I like that. In that case, I will not pull on the gauntlets.
But you can go ahead and give me a perception check as you look out from the top of this hill.
Looks like I've got a total of 27 on the perception.
Okay, yeah. From up here, looking across, there's no trees. It's just fields. Rolling hills as it seems to extend in whatever direction you're looking at. You will see about 3 hills away a pack of emaciated, rubbery-skinned dogs with long frills of spines and deep-sea fish eyes as they are stalking through the grass, slow bellies down, moving towards what looks to be a almost floating jellyfish that has horse hooves at the ends of its tentacles as it emits light and bounces through the air.
Alright. I think I'm gonna try and stay kind of low in the grass. Not so low that I'm like below the top of the grass. But like enough that it's clear to any outside observer that I'm kind of crouching and moving, I don't know, that I'm using the grass more or less. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm gonna start to move closer towards those hound-like creatures and see if I can join their pack, or maybe just make it like close enough where it's like where I know that they would notice me if they turn to look at me, but not acting in an aggressive manner towards them, just acting as though like I'm doing the same thing they are. I'm hunting this this floating jellyfish with hooves.
Okay. Moving across the grass fields, go ahead and give me that stealth.
Okay. Total of 17. Boy, I rolled poor there. It's okay. I'm more trying to act stealthy rather than be stealthy right now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The hooved jellyfish continues to bounce, heading, hard to guess here, away from the...
a direction.
Yeah, if you try to ponder cardinal directions here, doesn't seem to fit or make sense. I guess the one thing you can kind of base after... Actually, yeah, here, we can establish a north for Oswald, as there is in the very far distance that massive creature that you'd seen partially before. Its mantis-like arms, elongated dragonfly wings, multiple jaws, covering over from below its main mouth that stretch down its chin, that all open and clack together. It is quite a ways away, though. The creature itself must be pretty massive, but it gives you kind of a center point.
Yeah. So instead of having like a Cartesian coordinate system of north, south, west, east, it's more like a radial system where like that's the pole and all directions are in relation to it.
But the jellyfish creature will continue bouncing along, staying about 10 to 15 feet above the ground, though it does seem to dip as it follows the contour of the hills.
Okay. And the hounds are following along with it mainly? Or are they just hanging out on top of the hill and just watching it to see what happens?
The three hounds are following it as their pattern is starting to spread out to try to surround it.
Okay.
The one that is angling to come around the other side of the hoofed jellyfish that is closest to you will stop and see you.
Yeah, I'll make eye contact with it.
Do you speak Aklo?
No. I know you had to ask, but no.
All right.
I do have comprehend languages, but it's not running right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was more than 6. I triggered that earlier today when we were back in the back in Fuss in the warehouse. It's been a long ass day.
As the creature makes eye contact with you, you will hear a sentence or words reverberate in your mind that you can't determine or tell what they are. There's a challenging nature to them, but without the language itself, you're only left with a feeling that you're being tested.
Yeah. I think with that happening, that's enough of a trigger for me to go ahead and get comprehend languages back up again, which I know isn't going to help me with what was already said, but for anything future that's said. I will, I'll make a little move with my head that's like halfway between a nod and a bow, like an acknowledgement and like a show of respect kind of thing. And I'll start moving laterally as though I'm like part of this coordinated pack hunting the jellyfish. I'll definitely keep my distance from the hounds to make it clear like I'm not expecting to be thought of as part of the pack yet, but also like I'm moving as though I'm trying to coordinate my maneuvers with them.
Okay, yeah, very well. Following along with the pack as they spread out to surround the creature, the jellyfish will begin to make moves to float up and away.
I'll take a quick glance at the hounds to see how they're reacting to that, or even just my nearest hound if we're spread out far enough that I can't see the rest of them.
The one next to you will open its mouth and fire a green laser out of it, and will miss the jellyfish. The laser seems to almost land on it before maybe it's a small force field or psionic barrier, but the jellyfish blocks it and continues to clop its hooves and ascend upward.
All right, I'm gonna try and fire a grappling hook up and try and, I don't know, pierce the jellyfish or attach to whatever invisible barrier it's got, something like that. I'm just gonna fire a grappling hook at it and see what it grabs a hold of, if anything.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that CMB for this.
All right, total of 22.
Excellent. The spider climb rune python that you fire up there will create some sparks and static as it binds itself to the telekinetic aura around the jellyfish. Its clopping will get louder and more frantic as it feels there's something holding it from going up. But one of the other hounds will take this opportunity, with it being held, to try to fire another laser, of which it will miss. Going to be a strength check as the jellyfish begins trying to pull you up with it.
Bye, hounds. I got a 16 on my strength check.
All right, the jellyfish is not able to pull you off the ground.
All right. I think I would fire a couple grappling hooks if I can, like just into the ground around me and try and anchor myself as best I can.
Creating a steady anchor and surface for you, the hound nearest will place their claws upon you and place their body upon the rope and begin slowly going up your cord towards the jellyfish.
Oh, that's so cool.
The other hounds are bounding towards you as they will see them begin to move. At first, you'd probably guess they're about as fast as you are, but you'll see them begin to vibrate and shimmer as they will cover the distance between these hills in a matter of moments.
I want to learn that trick.
But the one that is currently walking up the rope, go ahead and give me another strength check, as it's about halfway up, and the jellyfish is trying to push you away.
Ooh, I did well again. I got a 15.
The creature thrashes and tries to move, but it's not built for sudden movements like this, right? It's meant to drift and float and be carried upon the astral currents out here.
Right. It's supposed to be a hot air balloon, not a hot air balloon attached to the ground.
And so with that, the hound that is climbing up your rope will get to the top and jump upon the top of the jellyfish, dragging it down towards the ground. It'll take it about 3 rounds for it to actually descend all the way. The hound will continue to slash and claw at it. The 2 hounds near you will look at you, their eyes focused upon you, but will accept that you're assisting.
Yeah, at this point, when they look at me, I'll just maintain eye contact with them. Try not to have an aggressive posture, just, I am here with you right now.
With comprehend languages going, while you're waiting for the jellyfish to come to the ground, one of the 2 that is next to you will ask,
"Why do you hunt?"
Well, I don't have the ability to respond in Aklo. I think I will sort of gesture at the fields all around, and then just also hold up my starting to turn into claws hands, and then just bring my claws to my chest as though I'm embracing something.
All right. With that, the jellyfish will be brought to the ground, and the other 2 will bound after it. You'll see as the vibration and the shimmer effect on them stops, it gives off a very odd smell. It reminds you of being grounded or getting in trouble. It stirs more memories than it does scent. But that brushes away enough as the screeches from the jellyfish as the hounds descend upon it, ripping away its soft kind of, wonton dumpling-like flesh, as its hooves kick against the hounds, trying to get it to go away. They tear it open as it spills out about 5 small human-like heads that begin trying to slither away into the grass field and away from the hounds.
Ooh.
One of the hounds will catch it in its sharp, long, needle-like teeth, and the skull of this human head worm seems to break apart, much like a really warm Reese's. It spills out the blue peanut butter inside as it cracks open, and the hound will continue to feast on that. But the hound that you helped will push over one of the heads towards you.
Do you consume the flesh, the mind, or the soul?
Gosh, that's a hard question. It's a hard question because I haven't thought about it in those terms before. I don't think Oswald's ever considered himself as consuming a mind or a soul before. He likes consuming a big old euro with sauce on it. All right. Well, I'm a little weirded out by what form this food has taken, but as an Illican, I'm used to weird food sometimes. So I will try and claw a chunk out of this head, I guess. If it's the consistency of a semi-melty Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, the flesh and bone that breaks off of it reminds you of the crust of an apple pie. But inside is kind of a thick, blue peanut butter-like substance.
Yeah, I'll take a bite, I think, of the crust of this thing.
Yeah, as you eat the flesh of this thing, the hounds will howl.
I feel like I'd probably give myself over and howl as well. Feels like a howl moment.
Yeah, eating for this flesh, it makes you feel stronger, it energizes you, and with the taking of the flesh of this creature, you feel better. You feel like you want to hunt more. You feel like that calling is there.
I think I probably would give a little bit of the food to Cobbler as well.
Yeah, Cobbler does not eat it.
Okay. That's fine. Cobbler probably has better taste in food than I have. Okay, I will, I think for now I'm gonna stick with this pack, and just see where they go next.
After the pack has ripped out and consumed the disembodied crawling heads, they will allow the flesh of the jellyfish to continue clopping and float itself up and out.
Interesting.
Drifts away on the currents like a plastic bag in a parking lot.
All right.
One of the stars or suns above you will blink, and for a moment darkness will come across the land, when it does, the razor grass glows with a bioluminescence, a neon kind of orange from the roots up, before as soon as the eye reopens, you're back in a full daylight setting, and the hounds look ready to chase again.
Cool. I think while I'm thinking about it, I would try and cut a couple handfuls of the razor grass and just shove it in a pocket or something, just to have.
All right. Yeah. As you do, you can see where the stalks are cut. It does bleed a little bit of a kind of green substance, dark green. Smells a little bit of kind of like lemons and cinnamon.
All right, I'm curious. I will taste that as well.
Yeah, it makes your tongue numb, but at the same time, your eyes feel sharper while you're currently tasting this, right? Like you feel like you can see further. Even though normally bright light hurts your eyes, it doesn't now. You seem to be able to use your dark vision out here without being blinded, or use your normal vision, either way. But it fades after about 20 seconds.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I will keep that in mind for the grass I have in my pack. I don't know how long it's going to remain potent, but I can definitely see myself at some point in the future trying to suck some of the, sap or blood or whatever out of this grass. I love extraplanar drugs. They're the best.
The hounds will look back at you as they get ready to crest the next hill and see if you're ready to follow.
Yep, I will follow along. If they start doing that, like, sparkly, blinky, move between spaces thing, though, they're probably going to outpace me.
I didn't want to get the impression that they were teleporting so much as they were just moving extremely fast.
Okay.
You look out here, it's smooth hills covered in this grass, distant plains, the strange creature, far, far in the distance. But there's no right angles here. But you will run, chasing with them as they bound up and down hills, moving forward. Eventually they will stop and kind of sniff, looking around, and you'll catch another whiff of that bad memory or a moment that you probably haven't thought of in a while, a smell that takes you back.
Yeah. Do I get the feeling that that's just something that we encounter from time to time out here, or is that the scent that the hounds are tracking on and trying to hunt?
Looks like that's the scent the hounds are trying to track and hunt.
Okay. Well, they probably have better noses than me, but I'm also interested in finding the source of that scent.
Yeah, you'll see as they'll start heading towards the edge of this hill before it'll start to drift over itself, right? As you're getting to the edge of this hill, it continues around.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't seem like I'm about to fall into... Like, it feels like what you're describing is like gravity's kind of like shifting with me as I'm going around this like curve, kind of?
Correct.
Yeah, then yeah, I'll go along with it if that's where the hounds are going.
Yeah, the hounds, as they follow around the curve of the ground, go in and give me your... Actually, I mean, if you have it, knowledge geography.
I sure don't.
But otherwise, just go ahead and give me an int check.
Okay. Whoa, total of 22.
Nice. No, 20. You and the three hounds, as you are walking through strange trees of which their shadows don't line up with the sun, and which the seasons of which the trees look like they're in don't match what you see around them. Green foliage with snow-covered grounds, or long summer suns cast upon the saplings, but their shadows are that of full-grown trees. As the hounds stalk around the outside of this rancid stench, it's hard for you not to keep going back in memories to the lower parts of Pauldrian or maybe times in the orphanage. But the hounds look and they stare and they gaze back at you as you are looking at two towers, one of which seems to lurk in the shadow of the other one, but they are completely smooth upon the outside, circular, no angles to them at all. As the hound next to you, the one that you helped to climb up to defeat the jellyfish, will turn and look at you and say,
"You must open the gates."
I will feel several tingles go up my spine.
And the other two will...
"Open the gates. Release the hounds."
I I'm gonna approach the towers and kind of go around them and observe them. Probably do a couple loops around each of them is my thinking, because it seems like things are just kind of weird here, and perspective might matter, especially with the shadows being funky. And just see if I see any opening to either of the towers at all, whether there's a gate or anything else.
You see the outline of a door, though it is smooth and built into the curvature of the walls.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go up to that door and see if I can figure out how to open it.
Go and give me your perception as you get close.
Okay. 23 total. This is where some skeletal cowboy in a high window shoots down at me with a rifle.
Skeletal cowboy in a high window will definitely look over the edge as you look up, seeing a skeletal face with a buckled hat and a revolver as they kind of push it up and look down. It seems like they see you, but other things here don't. Like the birds seem to fly right next to you and past you.
Uh-huh.
Other animals don't seem to have any issue. And the grass here is soft and normal.
Yeah. Huh.
But with that 23, you'll see a figure with that 23 in the shadow of the second tower, you'll see a figure standing at the door, coming out, dressed entirely in a white cloak that covers from head to toe, going well past where their feet are. It looks like it'd be almost difficult to move in.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see pallid flesh underneath, but obsidian black eyes without eyelids, and no mouth or nose.
Huh.
The creature looks at you for a moment, before you'd hear the slow slide of a weapon out of its sheath, as it draws a large crystal greatsword.
Oh, okay.
The hounds snarl behind you at this creature as they back up.
Okay. Can I tell whether this creature is intent on fighting me, or is it more just drawing a sword to make it plain that it intends to defend entrance? Or I don't know if I can tell that.
Go ahead and give me a sense motive.
Okay. Total of 17.
No, there's something alien about it that's just you're not able to really cling on to. You're not able to kind of determine by its body and posture.
Okay. At the moment, I will just stand. I won't approach, but I'm also not going to back away. I might be crouched like just a little bit, like having like tense legs, like I'm ready to run if I need to. If at some point in this I probably like had my sword in my hand just because it feels right while I'm hunting to have a weapon in my hand, but I would probably sheathe my sword while I'm standing there and just see what this figure does, see if they move towards me or not.
The creature will step forward about 20 feet, so it's about 15 feet away from you, as it will call out in a quieter voice than you thought it would have. If you choose to follow this path, I will have to remove you. Not because of one, there's no anger in this. The gates must remain closed. You can choose a better path, Oswald.
Well, we'll definitely consider. What are the gates?
The gates are many. Different sizes, different places, but some are specific to you, some are specific to others. They are a way that your master wants through.
Who do you call my master?
Tyndalos.
Does Oswald know who Tyndalos is, or know much about Tyndalos?
I think we've made this check before at earlier levels, but you're welcome to make a knowledge planes.
Ah, yeah. That is why the answer is no, because knowledge planes, not knowledge religion.
Right. They're
yeah.
Cultists of Tyndalos are pretty lonely creatures.
Right. Yeah. So I think this will be probably the first time that Oswald is like forced to consider that what he's doing, what he's been feeling, is not coming from Tali. It's not just like a branch of the type of freedom that Tali is offering. It's a different philosophy altogether. And he probably is unsure how he feels about that, frankly. Like, it's been feeling good here in the razor grass and hunting, and he's still all wrapped up seeing fours go down. So he's probably feeling very unsure of himself. Like everything seemed like, while up until this point out here in the razor grass, he's been feeling like there's almost a path laid out and he should just follow it because it's the right thing to do. And now he's less sure that following the path is the right thing to do. So he'll definitely hesitate for a good long while.
Yeah, the creature in white with the crystal blade will keep their eyes focused on you. There are other paths, Oswald. You are hunting upon the one most easily available, but is one that is not allowed here. If you come here again while on your world, you will be forgotten. I will make sure of that. Keep the gates closed. Return the flesh. Seal the hounds.
What are the other paths that you know of?
I know of many paths. I have seen many paths be traveled by the same person and by different ones. If you want to walk those paths, you have to leave the hounds.
I think I'll kind of take stock of where I'm at and look around and look at the hounds. And I think I'll realize that this has felt good because it feels like taking action. It feels like doing something about things I don't like and how things are going. But it's not really productive action. It's not action that solves any problems. It's just selfish fulfillment. And the problems I want to solve aren't here. They're back in the real world. So I think Oswald will just give a big sigh and turn to the figure and say, how do I get back home?
I can see, based on your flesh, that you have already eaten the flesh, and to accept the path is to consume. Hopefully you can return to where you're from, and you can open the gate for you.
All right. I'll nod.
Yeah, the hounds behind you will call out to...
Get away from him. Get away from it. It's dangerous. They carve people out of time. They take them. They block the gates. They block a gate.
I think I'll turn to the hounds, and I don't know if they can understand me or not. But I'll say to them, this is not my gate. I have to find my own gate. And I will start trying to make my way back to where this all started. See if I can find my way back to that corner.
Okay, back to the razor fields.
Yes.
As you turn back around, head back, the hounds follow alongside of you as you are trying to kind of figure out the pattern to the trees and the shadows here, the disparate time differences between angles and where you're going. As you get further away, though, from that smell, as your mind kind of clears back up, you find your feet once again back on the crunch of that razor grass. But the hounds, following behind and following around you.
You must open the gates.
I'll say to them, I cannot open that gate. I must find different gates. Gates that I can go through.
You can open that gate from your side.
Where is that gate on my side? Do you know? Do you know my side?
The hounds will hiss, and we do not know your side, but you do. And as you walk back up around the surface of the grass and get back up on top, this time when the eye blinks, you are only a few hills away from what looks like some ruins, of which there are right angles.
Okay. I'll start heading that direction and tell the hounds, I will look. I do not know if you're right that I can open that gate from my side or yours, but I will continue to look into this.
The hounds bare teeth at you as you begin heading towards those ruins. As soon as the eye reopens, though, they are gone again. But the hounds seem to have taken a more of a stalking approach to you.
Okay.
And they will take their turns saying,
Open the gates. Release the hounds. New flesh. New size.
This time, though, looking around after the eye reopens, casting light about the area, you cannot see the massive creature in the distance.
Huh. Okay. I hope that's not a bad thing. I don't think there's much I could do about that massive creature if I'm forced to deal with it more directly. I think I'll take that just as a sign that while it might be possible for me to transit this place, it is not my place, and it's not ever going to feel completely like my place or like a place that is for me. So yeah, I think I'll just continue making my way towards those ruins. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with where on my side those are going to pop me out if I can even get through them.
Very well, yeah. Moving across the surface as you get closer to where you saw those ruins, the eye will once again close above, and you will see the ruins once again. This time, though, being closer, you see that they are attached to a massive head, as eyes upon eyes start to rise up from the fields of razor grass, the teeth upon teeth lowering from its jaw.
Oh.
You see its teeth are pushing out other teeth, as they simply regrow and replace, like a shark's mouth, but done in that kaleidoscope effect of just teeth pouring out.
Uh-huh.
as it spills them across the ground. Easily when they fall down next to you, some of these teeth are probably in size from like your knee to your foot.
Okay.
And the ruins that you were running towards are a crown that it wears. Looking back on it, its back is covered in razor grass.
I will turn and run. I think this is probably terrifying.
A huge scythe claw, at this point really it feels to you like a building beam, will slam down in front of you into the razor grass hill as the dark green blood spills out, intoxicating as your eyes go wide. And you see far enough and you see so much that you get distracted, disoriented. But its massive form looming above you, blocking the light when the eye reopens. Open the gates. And you will see, as you are looking with your eyes, currently as you're infused with this essence from this massive creature's blood, you can see these huge, must be size of Selene global freighter ships duct taped together, 5 wide on each side, these huge gates with green emblems carved into them as it sits there floating in the depths of the plains or space somewhere. It says it again, open the gates. You see a dilapidated building. On it, written in blood all around the outside, it's called the Gates. You've seen this room before. You remember being here by yourself before running into the Seekers. The writer wrote this. You hear once again the booming voice as the eye behind it blinks. Open the gates. And you see an android body with their ribcage cut open, splayed out and across, to make it look like their body is a set of doors opening into its chest. To eat is to accept the path. To accept the path is to become hound. Release the hounds.
So, I mean, Oswald is just terrified at this point, but he's trying to like think through how to get out of here at this point. And he's thinking about that flesh that he ate earlier, and whether having that inside him right now is making it impossible for him to escape because he's on this path, or whether it's keeping him safe because as long as he's on this path, he's viewed as like part of this world. But yeah, no, I think he's just worried that if he doesn't do something drastic, he's just gonna be trapped here and just consumed by this creature that is this landscape, maybe, or is I'm not even sure. He's assuming this must be Tindalos, maybe, but yeah, I think Oswald will try his best to vomit and try and remove the flesh that he previously ate. Just try and get it all up if he can.
As you go to try to force yourself to vomit, the hounds are getting closer, easily within claw distance, as the eyes that you looked at before had a film over them, much like you see frogs do or sharks before they eat. But they'll allow that film to drop back, giving you a actual vision into their eyes. Blackened depths that seem to go into starless realms with no plains, with nothing. But gazing into the abysmal depths of their deep sea eyes, give me a fortitude save.
Alright. Oh my god. I rolled a 1. Do I have great fortitude? I feel like that's a feat I have. I really hope I have great fortitude. I do have great fortitude. I'm gonna re-roll that, because I think this is probably an important fortitude save to not auto-fail at. Alright, I got a 15. That's better.
Looking into its eyes, you feel yourself engulfed in the darkness as the hounds descend upon you, ripping and rending at your flesh, clawing at you as, in this moment, Cobbler tries to run but can't, as the hounds tear you apart, doing 15 points of non-lethal damage.
I am just barely conscious.
But that's okay, because you wake up in your room, covered in sweat. You can see the corner of your room as the sunlight comes in, the eyes drifting back like coins being thrown into a well as they descend into darkness. And you're here by yourself. Cobbler's next to you, though Cobbler does look at you a little bit worried. You could feel the sharpened spines on the underside of the flesh, your tendrils on top of your head, waiting to push through, and your hands have achieved full claw status at this point.
Yeah, I imagine I'll just lay there for a moment, just waiting to see if my heart rate's gonna go down. And then I will get up and I'll go to the kitchen and I'll find some like actual my world food to bring to Cobbler. and I'll have some as well. Whatever it is, like we're both eating the same food at this point.
The food is kind of bland and tasteless, no matter how much hot sauce you put on it.
Mm-hmm.
Cobbler's happy to eat, as it's been a while for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely options that have been presented by the mysterious figure and by Tendalos, I suppose. The straightforward path of just going across the fields and just living free, I suppose, there. That doesn't seem like it's the right path. But
we'll end the session with this, with a few things stuck or left in Oswald's mind. One, you do still have a handful of that razor grass. It does not cut on your well-scaled hands and clawed hands, and if you find a small pot for it, it will take root and grow. You also do understand that the gates, in order to open, do require sacrifices. If you want to travel the corners, something has to die.
Okay.
And you'll get the ping on your HCOM, seeing a missed call from Lucius. At the other, a message from an unknown number, marked, "Won't you come help me find those gates?" And it's over! Thanks for listening. As always, our music is by Nihilor. You heard How to Survive in the Pre-Apocalypse, Lore, Cathedral, and Kanai. Our sound effects are by Pixabay. So, like, rate, review, subscribe, share. Anyways, hope you're having a great day. Bye!